call the plumber. Far out, this is freezing. Is this the plumber? Man, I've got a problem. I've got no hot water. I'm going to get shrinkage. You've got to come over straight away. Okay, 1 hour. I'll be waiting. Thanks, mate.
Hi, I'm Rob.
I'm Dave. And I'm Mr. Sink. And welcome to the Mr. Sink Show, where we show you how to improve your home.
On today's show, John the plumber comes to the rescue to restore my hot water. Dave learns all about the almighty spanner. The father-son plumbing team, Emilio and Joe, show us how to get your hot water pressure back. And a few other things.
Well, let's get started.
You don't know how bad it was. Do you know what it's like to get shrinkage? You know how cold that bloody hot water was?
How
Bloody
cold?
hell. Where's this plumber?
Okay, we're going to call our plumber. John.
Oh, John, thank you.
Hello,
for
everyone.
coming.
Rob?
Thank you very much for coming.
Welcome, John, from Spectrum Plumbing. He's going to show us how to check how your hot water unit is going.
Well, firstly, we need to work out what the problem is. So I'll ask my customer. Well, obviously, you have no hot water.
There's no hot water.
Okay.
And I was in the shower,
Okay.
and it just turned cold all of a sudden.
Okay.
And there was a bit of shrinkage too.
Shrinkage. Well, cold water's invigorating, they tell me. So. All right, let's go down and have a look. The first thing we should do is always, and I can't stress this enough, check the warning signs. We are now playing with gas, and gas is very combustible, and it can blow back and do some damage. So again, check the warning signs. After you've read and checked the warning signs, open up the lid, and straight on the back of the lid, we have the relighting instructions. Just give those instructions a quick read. They're very, very basic, but I'll go through it with you now. So down here we have what's called the thermostat. And on the thermostat, we have the dials that operate the relighting procedure. So we simply turn the dial onto the star icon here, which tells us that that's the lighting process for the pilot light. You hold that down and you hit the piezo, which lights the pilot light. You can hear the actual piezo clicking a few times. Give that about 3 or 4 clicks, even 5 clicks. While you're still holding down the button, go down and view through the view window here, and I can now see that the pilot light is lit. After you've lit the pilot light, you need to hold this button around about 10 to 15 seconds. While you're looking, let go of that button slowly, and the pilot light is still on. After that pilot light has been relit, you turn the dial back around to the flame, meaning that now the unit's ready to reheat water for you. We can simply check that by turning the temperature up a little bit, and you can hear that now firing up and heating water. Just let that run for a few seconds, then turn it back to the temperature it was on. Simple as that. We're ready to go, so we simply put the cover back on. And we go back to our happy customer and we give him an invoice for relighting the unit.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, there you go. It's really easy to relight the pilot. But if there's something else wrong with the hot water unit, can you explain what
Sure.
to do?
Basically, if you cannot relight the unit by those simple instructions that we've just gone through, you really, really now need a gas fitter, a plumber gas fitter, I should say. There could be several reasons why your hot water unit's not relighting. One could be a faulty thermostat. One could also be what's called a thermocouple, which is a safety device that senses that the actual pilot light is still lit and running correctly. If that blows out and we have raw gas coming out, this safety device will actually turn the unit off. So you can't have raw gas coming out causing all sorts of problems. Again, if you cannot relight the unit by the instructions, you need to call a plumber.
Yeah, we can't actually stress that enough. Quite often you see a lot of backyard or handymen trying to fix a hot water unit. It is a job for a gas fitter. Putting a pilot light is pretty easy, but yeah, just call someone like John from Spectrum Plumbing Services or your local plumber, and they'll fix it for you. Is that right?
Yeah, another great tip is I find some customers Around hot water units have spider webs and all sorts of bugs and things growing around the unit. And they tend to use aerosol cans around the unit to get rid of these insects. Aerosol cans are flammable. You've got a pilot light. With that flammable spray, you'll quickly get a haircut. So please do not use any flammable sprays around your hot water unit. Thank you.
Okay, well, actually, while we're on that subject, how would you get rid of?
No, the safest and simplest way would be just to use a brush and just brush that away.
Okay. Oh well, thank you, John.
Pleasure. I hope I can help you again.
See you
So
next
going to
time.
have a shower?
You can.
Okay, thanks, mate. I'll send the check in the mail.
Better be quick.
Now that that's done, I can go and have a shower.
Hi again, we're with Glenn at Tullamarine Harbour again. Glenn.
Hi Dave again, good to see
How
you
are you,
again.
mate? It's good to see you. Now, what have we got today?
We've got a few different types of spanners.
Okay.
We've got like an open end spanner, or just a ring spanner. The
Okay,
ring part of it's obviously like a ring.
Oh, actually, like a wedding ring. Oh,
Yeah.
All been there, yeah.
or an open end. That's the open end part. And this
Okay.
particular one is actually a ratchet ring, so you can ratchet on.
Okay.
different-
So what will be the main purpose of these type of spanners?
Oh, just tightening up nuts and bolts and
And breaking a few too.
yeah,
so-
breaking some nuts, yeah, that's it.
Well, this one, I've never seen that sort of thing before.
Well, that just adjusts it rather than having to wind the little nut.
Oh, the old style
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
winding up and taking
Yeah.
your time, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they usually called a shifting spanner. It's
Yep.
what my dad used to call it, an AFS spanner.
AFS?
Yeah, any size. You know?
That's a good one. I like that one. So, yeah.
yeah.
And all right. Well, what about this tiny one? I know it's compensating for something. But,
Oh, look, some women might like to have it in their handbag. A little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, need to tighten a little nut here and there.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds like someone I know at work, Mr. Sink.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The bigger the nut you got, the bigger the shifter you need. Like for you,
Yep.
you'd probably need something like this, because I've heard you have some big nuts to tighten up.
Hey mate, big shoes to fill, mate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Glenn, thanks again.
No worries, Dave.
Shifter or spanners, what a tool.
That's a tool.
So we've had an interesting email from a person who has a problem with the hot water service. She wrote in to say that she has not enough hot water, complaining that every time she goes into the shower or uses the tap in the kitchen, someone flushes the toilet or uses another outlet in the house, that there's just not enough hot water. So basically it's just a little drizzle of hot water. So she's wrote in to us asking for some help. So is there something that we can do to help this lady?
Well, this is actually very, very common. Old electric hot water units in the ceiling, which have very, very, very low pressure, where a lot of people do complain there's not enough pressure, the water doesn't last very long, and there is I suppose, there is something you can do about it. And the guys at Eagle Plumbing today are going to show you how to do it. We're going to do a conversion from electric to gas, and you put a instantaneous or continuous flow hot water unit. So let's go visit the guys and we'll see how it's all done. Okay, well we're here on site and we have the guys from Eagle Plumbing, Emilio and Joe.
G'day, Mr. Sink.
Thanks for being on the show.
We've got the old plumber and the new plumber, old school, young school. Anyhow, they're going to actually explain to us why the hot water unit is not really giving a lot of pressure. Now, this is what we call a gravity-fed hot water unit. So explain, what does gravity-fed mean?
Well, what it is it's a tank that's installed into the roof, and it's probably been about 40 years old.
Since the house
Since how it was
Yep.
built, and was going back then.
Yep.
And it's on electricity, so there's a large tank, and it's filled up through mains water supply through a joggy tank, which is another small little tank.
Gravity means it pushes down.
It pushes down exactly.
So there's no actually pressure pushing it.
It's like
That's
having
correct.
a bucket full of water and the water is trickling from it.
Ah, okay. Well,
So-
that makes sense.
So with the shower being the
That's
highest
the-
point, you get a restriction of flow as
Cool.
well.
Now that explains when we turn the tap on, and we're going to show the guys on screen soon, that the water's like, it's actually like just trickling, like my fountain does
Exactly.
a lot more
pressure.
Pressure than that. Okay, cool.
And then when you get the cold water, sometimes it overpowers the hot and it can
So,
cause
so
scalding.
what are we going to install today? We're going to install the continuous flow.
That's right.
Hot
We
water
are
service.
going to install a continuous flow Bosch 26.
Okay, so
Um,
what
which
is
is-
what is the advantage of this?
Well, mains pressure,
Mhm.
which is a direct mains pressure from the main through the unit, and the advantage is that as you turn the water on, the hot water automatically starts, and the hot
Yeah,
water.
because it looks really small, so there's no tank in there. So
So there's
is
a
it,
26 that gives you 26 litres per minute.
so all right.
So what happens is it goes around a coil
Yep.
and it fires up and it heats the water as it keeps on going. So you get endless amount of hot water.
So not like your traditional storage hot water units where they're about so
No,
high,
exactly.
and they store about 100 litres of water, 150 litres, whatever
Yeah.
they are, of litre of water, and then just shoots it out as you
Exactly,
use
as you use
Okay.
it, as you use it.
The hot water flow with this existing system, which is pretty low.
Oh wow, there is a difference. So if I turn that off,
Yeah.
and then we do the cold one. Oh wow, look at the difference. There's a massive difference there. So what's going to happen is once we install that hot water unit, the
Pressure
will be
would
balanced.
be balanced and almost equal, but not quite.
Okay, cool.
Almost equal. It's got to be big enough for me to put my hand in.
This is an interesting thing. I've noticed you're using copper. Not many plumbers use copper nowadays. So why are we using copper now?
Oh, that's a good question. Now the reason being, regulations are that any hot water installation, you got to have at least 600 millimeters or to a meter copper before you convert it to plastic.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely. So in this case here, we're going copper right through.
One thing I have noticed, putting a hot water unit, there's lots and lots of regulations. So it really is important that you do use a licensed plumber like
Well,
Emilio.
the regulations
Because
are
there's so many
written-
regulations to
are
stick
written
to.
to be implemented. You know, anything outside the regulation, obviously, you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why he's got that on.
So what does this bending spring do? Show me.
I'll just keep the internal of the pipe in line so it doesn't get squash.
Ah, so it doesn't kink when you bend.
This bending spring used to be used on fly screen doors in the 70s and 60s, right? To spring the door back.
And now you use it for bending copper.
I used to knock them off because they're the...
Keep going.
I used to knock them off, and this is the last one that I've got. The reason being that this is a slightly thinner than the one you buy at a Reese or any other plumber supply, and it's much softer. It goes in and comes out and does a better job.
So we're going to be the apprentices for Emilio today. Emilio's going up inside the roof, and I'm going to pass the copper tube up to him, and he's going to feed it through the wall. And our instructions is as soon as we see it come through there, we've got to hook it in through
Through there, and I'm going to bring it out.
G'day guys, I'm just up here to drain the existing hot water service. I'm just going to empty it. It's about 250 gallons of hot water. Mr. Sink can do the conversion to litres.
I don't know what it is in litres, but
It's around about 500 litres roughly.
loads of water.
Yeah, a lot of water. Yeah, so I'm just going to drain the tank. So it's going to come out of this. See that little pipe there coming out of the eave there, and I'm just going to empty out on the concrete floor.
All right, cool. Well, we'll keep an eye out.
No worries.
Well, in the background you can still hear that water running. It's been going for over 25 minutes. There's like gallons and gallons and gallons of water there. It's got to be emptied. So just we have to put up with the sound so you can too on screen. So what Emilio's doing at the moment is he's doing the rest of the plumbing fit off.
Cutting into the cold
So
water
he's
supply.
cutting into the cold water supply, and as soon as he's done that, he's going to connect the gas supply to it. And the gas supply is over here, nice and close, and it's going to go into there.
The owners of the home have been kind enough to give us some homemade figs from the tree over there. And they look how juicy they are. I'll see if the boys want some. Hey boys, no coffee break today. We're gonna have a fig break. Now, apart from the fig being one of the oldest fruits on earth, the leaves of the fig tree is one of the oldest things ever written. Adam and Eve, that's what they used to cover themselves with. Oh, Eve and Adam. So the good old fig tree, eh? Okay, I've got a handy hint. This is for you, Noel. Your wife sent this in. Apparently this is the way that you clean your mirror every day after you shave. So according to your wife, shaving foam. Let's see if I can do it as well as Noel. Apparently he uses his hand to rub it in. Oh, shit, there's a lot. So I'll just make sure that I get into the corners as well. And apparently this is supposed to defog your mirror and clean it and keep it for, I think it's 3 months, I think she said. So I'll just wash my hands. So with a bit of some paper towels, you clean it off. And this is not working too well. I think I put too much on there. This is not working at all. It's not working. Can we have a handy here? It's gone wrong. Okay, it hasn't worked. It's got streak marks everywhere. Normally if it defogs, it wouldn't leave finger marks like that. But I'm going to give Noel the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to use a microfiber cloth, like one of these ones here. This should get rid of it. I hope anyway. Now for the big test. It has got rid of most of the streaks. Well, it doesn't fog up, so maybe he is right. It's just that it's a bastard to clean. I'm done.
So what's this gadget here?
This is what you call a manometer,
A digital.
a digital manometer.
Okay, and what does it do?
Well, at the moment we're testing for the burner pressure inside. While it's firing up, we're testing for that it's the adequate burner pressure. We can go through testing it just this branch here, just with some soap and water, which
And what are we testing for?
we're testing for gas leaks at the moment.
So how does the soap and water? So what happens?
Yeah,
Bubbles
exactly.
come
What
out.
will happen is if that was to leak, it will just bubble up anywhere across here. Yeah,
So there's no bubbles, so that's good.
exactly.
No leaks.
There's no leaks. So
good.
we're all safe and sound.
So once you finish commissioning it,
Yeah,
we'll go inside. We'll test it.
exactly.
Alright,
All
cool.
done.
Okay. Well, the job is now complete. So now we test it. So
All right. So you remember the pressure from before was very, very weak and very slow. Well, now we've got a lot more pressure. We're just going to flush out the system, and there it is. That's great pressure, I think.
and that's warm water too. Beautiful.
Now you've probably noticed I've taken the strainer off. It's just a rule of thumb for us guys. It's a lot of debris and stuff that gets caught, in the pipe work, especially in the old copper pipe work. So yeah, put that back on, and the lady should be happy.
Yeah, they'll be wrapped. Like you've got full pressure, full pressure. And hot water again.
And hot water again. How good's that?
As we can see, the unit has been installed and it's all in operation according to the specification. And
Mr. Sink.
that's about it.
Cool. And I've noticed that says operating. It's actually really quiet. You don't hear much of it.
They're very quiet.
Thanks, guys. We've actually learned a lot today. Plumbing is actually for
Gone a
professionals.
long way.
You really do need a license.
Plumbing is for plumbers.
It's a plumber's trade.
And guys, if you do need a hot water unit replaced, speak to a plumber, even like Eagle Plumbing or any other plumber that matter. But make sure they're licensed, and that way you make sure that it's all guaranteed. Thanks, Amelia.
Thank you, Mr. Sink.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Sink.
Again.
And
Thank you,
we'll
Mr.
see.
Mr. Sink.
We'll see them on another episode.
For more information about anything you've seen in this episode, or to contact us with your tips and ideas, visit mrsinktv.com.au or follow us on Facebook at The Mr. Sink Show.
And we really hope you enjoyed today's show, and we'll see you next time. Let's sing a favourite song from where were you from? Naples.
From Napoli, yes. Dates back in the in the early 1900s.
Okay.
And it goes, noi siamo tre compari su nature, trullala, più disperate noi non ce ne stanno, trullala. Noi siamo i milionari e l'allegria, Giovanna, Franceschiella e Don Pasquale. Ta-ra-ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra-ra.